guys, I'm back after a very long time. Life sure has happened. It has been a crazy, I think a little over a year since I have posted. And it's so funny that life could happen so quickly in such a short amount of time, such as a year. But yeah, life has happened. It's been crazy. It's been nuts. And I am so blessed to be here. It's been a world of just chaos, but also blessings at the same time. If you know, you know, you feel me? So I kind of just want to update you guys as to where my life has been and how I have grown and what my life is going to look like, how it's going to project. Just so excited, so blessed to be here. I know when I last spoke, I let y'all know that I was living in my car. Yeah, that was crazy, right? It was a crazy journey to go through. And I do want to make a separate video to kind of just help out anybody else who is in that situation, going to be in that situation, considering it. And that's kind of what I want to talk about first. I had to live in my car for 9 months after that video. 9 months, which I know sounds like, it's just months, but wow, it was really tough. It was tough. It was also extremely rewarding. Now, the reason I did have to do that is because I did lose my apartment in Newport, unfortunately, and things happen, and nobody forced me to live in my car. Nobody said you gotta do this or else. Nobody said that. I decided to do this because financially I was not in a good place, and I wanted to get myself out of personal debt as much as possible, and that kind of looked like taking a sacrifice, and that sacrifice was just not getting myself in another apartment or even to rent a room for that matter. I just wanted to make sure that all of my finances were going towards my bills to get me out of debt as much as possible, because your girl was swimming in so much personal debt. There was no way for me to even get a credit card or even get an apartment, honestly, after that, because of how bad I was. So I just focused all of my time and energy on clearing out the debt, and the Lord taught me a lot about finances that we don't really get to learn until, life happens, right? Such as having a savings account, how important it is to have a great credit score, all these things, even the dangers of what it looks like to close accounts. He kind of just took this time of, solitude that I had with him in living in the car of, okay, daughter, this is what you need to do with your finances. This is how life has to go, like this, yada, yada, all that. So he taught me a lot, poured into me. And because I chose to do that sacrifice, your girl has no form of personal debt. Yeah. Only debts I have is my car. A lot of people have that, which is a normal, healthy, kind of thing, not tens, thousands of dollars in credit card debt. No. I have my car and my school, so we are financially set. I actually started a savings account. Didn't really see the value in that when I was younger, and now I do, and it's just I am able to take care of myself and be able to sustain on the living that the Lord has gave to me, and a blessing that was. Now, that was something great that came out of that experience. Another thing I would love to point out is it really humbled me. The way I was able to even consider doing something like this is because I am a busybody. I have school, I have work, I have not just work, I have 2 jobs. I'm doing a whole lot with my life. So by sleeping in the car, living in it, that's what I meant to say. By living in my car, what that looked like for me was 6 a.m. I'm out I'm doing things, and then 10 p.m. I literally just come in here to sleep. That's it. The other thing, apart from financially being stable and learning about finances in the first place, is I was able to do some stuff that I was never really able to experience before, such as like seeing my parents quite often. Like, I live in Southern California and I'm originally from the Bay Area, and so like being able to take the sacrifice on, I was able to like save up some money and go see my parents more often, which I love to do. The older I got, trust me, you start to love your parents a lot different. Your heart gets softer and all of that. So I was able to see my parents more. I actually even traveled a little bit, like just driving wise, seeing new places, doing new things. So although I really just use this place as my sleeping quarters, I did take advantage of it. Like with the money I was saving, I did some great stuff with it too. And living like this helped me be extremely fit, because I did go to the gym a lot to shower, brush my teeth, yada yada, but it kind of kept me accountable to like, okay, we're going to the gym, we can't just be in here to shower, you got to be up in here, you got to be working out. And so during that time, now keep in mind, I'm really short, I'm like 5'2", 5'1", I don't know, something like that, and I was weighing in at a little over 140, almost 150-ish, around there. And that's not like huge, but I definitely wanted to, lose some weight, be a little bit more healthier, and yeah, this really helped me. Now, the tough part about living in here was clearly you don't have an easy, accessible bathroom. Now, I don't really have a lot of stuff. I never did. I'm not really a materialistic kind of person in a way where I have like so much of this, so much of that. It kind of was perfect for me in that way, because I was able to fit everything in my car. Also, I have a coupe, so it's a little sports car, and yeah, Lord was able to make it happen. But what was tough was like weather changes, making sure I was safe, and I always parked in really safe locations, but it's still a little tricky, but definitely was a sacrifice. It had its good things to it, it had its bad, and it brought me to where I'm at now, which I no longer live in here, and I will tell you guys all about that. But the other thing I wanted to segue into was during the first months of when I was living in my car, I did have to move to a whole new city because I had a job offer, which I really needed to take advantage of. So I moved an hour away from where I was living, which was Newport, like OC kind of area, all the way to Inland Empire, and that was a beautiful time in my life. Beautiful, bittersweet, but I did have to move to another town, so I had to get adjusted to the area. Also a whole new part of my life where I was living in my car. It was a lot of depression and anxiety, worried for like my finances, worried about like where I'm at because I'm not really familiar with it. It was just a lot of stress on my plate. And during that time too, the reason why I wasn't on here a lot was because I struggled with alcoholism. Like, I was drinking a lot, and if you know, I did quit smoking I was a smoker for 7 years. Now I'm 3 years and 7 months sober off of that, which is amazing. But I did indulge, because when you take one addiction away, and for somebody who has such like an addictive gene, I kind of like, during that hard time, I clung on to alcohol. That was like my vice. So I was going towards that a lot, and it was tough. I was very depressed. I was in a bad place. And I thought, now, how optimistic you hear me talking about living in my car, I was not feeling like that at first, of course. Like, I lost my apartment that I worked so hard to get, and I was just like, God, is this why I moved all the way here? Like, I thought we had a dream. I thought I had, like, so much purpose, so much, you know, beautiful stuff going on in my life. Like, why does this have to happen to me? And I know a lot of times we get so discouraged because when we're in it, whatever it is, whatever tough time it is, we always want to turn around and say, Lord, why are you forsaking me? Isn't that crazy to say? Why are you forsaking me? And that's how I felt. I didn't want to take any accountability as to how I got there, and that's a whole nother video in itself. We never want to be accountable of our actions. We just want to sit here and cry and blame the Lord as to, look what you did, why did you do this to me, instead of actually you know, trying to make a resolve in ourselves and actually take a step back and really be grateful for where we're at. And so I noticed that looking back at it right now, I'm so glad the Lord did that for me. But it's not until after, right? Because in the midst of it, we're going through it. And what I want to say, if you're going through that, even to myself, if I watch this again, is whatever you're going through at the moment where you feel like, Lord, how could you leave me here knowing I'm like going through it? How could you do this to me? There's always a reason, there's always a purpose behind it. We can't see it, but that's what faith is. You gotta trust. That is what faith is. You gotta trust. So you gotta trust in the Lord. You gotta, you know, no matter how dark it gets, and I know there's a million distractions that you could pick up in the world, alcohol, people, whatever it is, gambling, I don't know, anything, right? It's so important to remember He was there for you. It's always important to remember to look back at the hard times that you did go through, that you didn't think you were going to make it. Like, you didn't think you were going to make it out. You didn't know how it was not going to be possible. Like, no, but you did. But you did. But you did. But God never did forsake you. And there was always a reason as to why you went through this or why you went through that. And I'm pretty sure when we look back at the hard times, we're grateful for them, because these are experiences that mold us into who we are today. And I know this all sounds so good on the outside, trust me, but when you're in it, it sucks. I know. Patience and faith is what I gotta say. So I was drinking a lot, and I strayed away from the Lord a lot because clearly I was making content, I was reading my Bible, I was going to church. Actually, I don't know if I was going to church at the time. Something like that, right? I had my fellowship group, you know, I was doing real good, like, emotionally, but, you know, all that struck on me, so I did stray away. And I did actually bounce from different jobs. That was tough. It was tough because I didn't feel grounded. I was losing jobs. I wasn't really caring about myself. Clearly, I was a little overweight, like I said. I would be up late at night, hardly getting any sleep, just scrolling, doom scrolling, whatever. And I was just in a bad place. Yeah. No, yeah, those first few months sucked. And I was single until I met a boy. And that's where it went downhill. No, just kidding. But I did meet somebody that left a very big imprint on me. And I really loved this man. I loved the time that I had with him. And we were together for about a year. But during the time, I was in a vulnerable place, and I didn't want to be in my car, and so I would stay with him. And I felt a lot of conviction when I did that, because one of the reasons I was happy during the time of living in the car was because I was knowing that, you know what, at least I'm not sleeping with a man before marriage. At least I'm not, you know, falling into this vulnerability of, oh, well, somebody else could help me. Somebody else could, like, going outside of marriage, which I have a long history of doing. And yeah, man, going outside of marriage, going outside of a covenant that the Lord has, you will feel the pain after that, I promise you that. It was on and off. It wasn't a steady relationship, as all worldly ones are, right? When we don't wait for the Lord, as they all are, right? You know what I'm talking about. So it was kind of, we had great moments. I really loved this person because of their character, how much we traveled together. He was a great light in my life, but he did bring me back to my worldly self a lot, and that damaged me. It damaged my relationship with the Lord, and the one thing that is literally the most important thing about me is him. I'm sorry, but that's literally my whole not my whole personality. You know what I'm trying to say, though? Like, I have such a strong love for him. Literally, like, more of him, less of me. And that's not what was happening in this relationship. It was all about us, the world, and a lot of things were starting to stick out to me too. And it was good, like, at this pivotal time. I believe I was 24, I'm 25 now. You kind of go through, like, who am I? Like, what is my purpose? What am I here for? What am I good at? What makes me happy? And what do I want to do for the rest of my life? And I was just kind of in this toxic worldly relationship, and I was realizing, like, oh, I have a lot of trauma I have not worked through. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just, bashing on whatever. It was more of like, yeah, no, a lot of it's me. Like, I have so much stuff I have to work through. I have childhood trauma, adult trauma, even, a whole lot of stuff that I needed to put my focus on and work on. And not really for him, but for me and for my future husband and for my family. Because you know what? Something I realize is, when we do fix, or when we do acknowledge that there's something wrong, whether it's like an addiction or, like I just said, trauma, when we fix that, when we actually tend to it and take care of ourselves like we're supposed to, you're not only helping yourself, but you're helping your family, your kids, your bloodline. You're stopping generational curses, like they say. Like how I stopped smoking, and I'm actually almost 2 months sober from drinking. I'm not gonna bring that to my kids now. What a blessing, right? So realize there's a lot of trauma I gotta fix, and that's why I am so happy to be in my singleness, because we did break up we were together for a year. We broke up, and it's been a rocky one, because that was a really strong relationship for me, and it's been tough. But I feel like I'm at a place now, several months later, where I'm happy in my singleness, because this is my time with the Lord. And let me tell you, I know we hear it all day long, but time in your singleness with the Lord, there is nothing like that. You know why? Because He is the one that I report to every day. He is the one that my heart goes out to, the one I speak to, the one that I prioritize. My Bible, okay, my Bible does not look pretty. She's all dusty, not dusty. She's all crinkled up and scratched up, because I read my Bible. I'm in my word. I'm in between trying to figure out new church homes, because I'm in a whole new place, and I'll get to that in a second. But no, like, I'm in my word. I'm talking to the Lord. I'm writing him letters. Like, I'm conversating with him. And guess what? Not only am I doing that, but I'm my best project right now. Like, girl takes a lot. Like, I have so much to work on within myself, and I love that, and so many things to, like, invest on in myself on a daily basis. Quite frankly, like, yeah, being in a relationship would be cool, but that's not something I want right now. Like, of course, marriage, kids, all of that is beautiful and great, and has its time, but that's not what is here for me right now. I'm loving my singleness with the Lord. Amen. I am prioritizing my friends. I have made great friends at my new place, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about that. But I just want to tell you, like, yeah, during that hard time, I forsake the Lord, and I did come back to him. I did come back to my prayer life and, you know, talking to the Lord like I do now. It took some time, but whenever hard times hit me, that's what I want to learn, is like not to distance myself, because I do distance from people quite a lot, but not to distance from the one that's there for me, man. Like, he loves me. Like, he's the only one who understands me, is the doctor, is the therapist to my life. He could read me, you know? So that's one thing I really do want to focus on, is when things get tough, I just want to, because here's another part, surrender. I don't know how to do that. I'm still learning how to do that, because surrender who? I like to be in control. I'm also an only child, so I don't know if that's something in there, but like the fact that everything has to be like this, I want it like that, no, it has to be like this, no matter what. Yeah, I struggle with that. So that's something that, you know, surrendering is new to me, but that's something I need to welcome into my life, because being still and letting the Lord do his work in his time, that's where you want to be, trust me. Because we want to go after, you know, how we feel, and going after your emotions is not going to keep you, it's not going to keep you happy, it's not going to keep you grounded, because we got to have discipline, and we got to have, you know, boundaries and rules to our life, right? Respect for ourselves. When I was jumping around from job to job, I found one in Long Beach. I was like, oh wow, Lord, what's going on? Are you going to make a move in my life right now? What's going on? And so I moved back to Long Beach in June of 2025. And that's where I've been at my current job now. And I haven't had to jump around. I've been at my current job for about 9 months. And it has been nothing but a blessing. During this time when I moved, I say moved, I just drove. Like, during this time, I thought that it would be a good thing for me to, because I was always in sales jobs, so I was like, you know what, I never really gave myself a chance at school. I did go to community college, but I dropped out during COVID. I just couldn't handle it. I was always like not a school person. Like, I was in a lot of special programs in high school, middle school, even elementary. I was very impatient, and so I just was like, you know what, I don't think it's for me. But at the same time, I realized maybe I'm just not giving myself a chance. Like, time is only passing by. And so I said to myself, you know what, you don't have any kids, you don't got no husband, and I know so many women and men who have kids and they still go to school, and respect to you, because oof, that's tough. But I took advantage of it. I saw the situation and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take advantage of that, because I have so much free time, you know, not like exactly like free time, but I don't have like straight out obligations like a whole child. I'm gonna take advantage of that, and I'm gonna go to school. And so right as soon as I got this new job in my favorite place, came back home, I enrolled in school. I was like, you know what, yeah, like, yes, let's because I learned too that you do not want to invest everything into one place, like all your finances in one place, like one job, one source of income, because COVID taught me that, you know, but just being in sales taught me that, like, yeah, sometimes jobs aren't always going to be there, and that's why it's important to have a savings. It's important to have different sources of income and be private about your, you know, money. I went into a trade school for medical assistant, and I was in there from May all the way till December, and I'm still in there. I'm just doing my externship now, and I love it. It made me really happy. It made me really happy to go. And I'll tell you a little story. The school specifically is right next door to a place where I used to draw blood for $40, sometimes $20, just so I could eat. That was a tough time. That was when I was in my apartment in Newport, and I was just struggling with money. And so the fact that the Lord put me in a school that was right next door to that just kind of shows me, like, he's kind of just telling me, like, hey, remember where you came from. You used to do that, now you're out here going after an education. So yeah, I'm proud of me. I'm proud of me for doing that, okay? Because, like, instead of taking the easy route and be like, nah, I don't want to do that, like, because the reason I didn't go back to school was like, oh yeah, I don't got no money for that. So my phone rudely interrupted me, and I'm so sorry about that. I was talking about going to school, so yeah, I love it, and I took a chance on myself, and just because I had a hard time growing up does not mean I'm gonna just continue on to that, right? Because instead of saying, oh, I've always been like this, I'm always gonna be like this, no, I have had a pattern of always being like this, but guess what? I can change that in Jesus' name. I also took initiative to this, change. Like, I saw that the Lord brought me to OC again. He put me in a great paying job, and I was like, you know what? You're doing nothing but blessing me, and let me do the same. Like, let me pick up my cross too. And a way of that for me was like, okay, let me take care of myself. I was a little overweight. I was like, all right, let's fix it. Let's do something. And so I joined a running club. I started running, which was something I used to love doing when I was younger. I got back into that, and I started running. I started working out, eating better. And I was at 140 pounds. Remember, 5'2", 140 pounds. Now I am 117 pounds. So I lost a lot of weight. I cleaned my diet because I do have a family history of diabetes, so I am eating nothing but complex carbs, girl. Ain't no rice over here. But no, I cleaned up my diet, I lost weight, I work out, love it, love this for me. And so I'm taking care of my temple, right? And I joined, because when I was starting to come back to the Lord, I was like, all right, you know what? I'm not about to just do this by myself. Like, no, there are people out there. There are people that are just like me, and oftentimes I like to hide away and like keep to myself. But no, there are people that have went through what I went through. And so I just was like, you know what? Like, I want to go be in a fellowship group. I want to go find girls like me, and that's what I did. I prayed and I prayed on it, and the Lord brought me some wonderful women in my life who love the Lord, and you need that. Oh, girl. Or boy. You need that. You need that up in your life. You need people who are going to pray for you, people who are going to keep you accountable, people who know your situation. And there's so much more I want to touch up on. I just wanted to kind of like let you guys know that there are people out there who love you, and you have an almighty God who has never forsaken you, no matter how it feels, no matter what you've went through. No, he's always been there, and he always loves you. Like, trust me, take it from me, because 3 weeks ago I was like, you know what, I've been living in my car for quite a minute. It is getting cold outside, sis. It's getting cold outside. I do not want to be outside. Let me go, because I had the money. I was just scared. I got myself out of debt. I have a savings. I was like, credit score looking great. Okay, it's not A1 yet, but it's looking great. And I was like, you know what? I want to get an apartment. I think it's time. It was a lot of fear, because when I lost my house, when I lost my little spot, I was like, I lost my cats. I had 2 cats. I couldn't keep them clearly, so much loss. It was a lot of pain, dude. It was a lot of pain. And so I was like, dude, I really don't want to go back into that. What if I lose it again? And I feel like the Lord was just constantly, like, for the past few weeks before it happened, before I got my apartment, the Lord was telling me, like, hey, like, I know you're afraid, I know you're fearful, but I want you to live for me again. And the Lord has put purpose in my life. I moved to Southern California because I knew I wanted to do something with myself. I knew whether it was making content, it was something. It was some entrepreneurship type something. And now, after finding the Lord, my purpose is in Him. And so, while I was starting to come back to the Lord, everything's going great, I'm in my single time, He was just telling me, like, daughter, it's time for you to come work for me again. Which is spreading the gospel. It's time to come work for me again. It's time to, share your story and be there for other people. Like others have been there for you. And so I was like, okay, all right, I'm scared, but I'm gonna do it. And I was like, you know what? If you think it's the time, then let's do it. Let's go. How am I about to sit here and be worried and scared about losing my spot when it's like, it wasn't even that bad. it wasn't a bad situation. So it's like, I was kind of just telling myself a million ways of why I shouldn't, but the Lord was just so strong on me, like, nope, get an apartment. You got the money, girl, go do it. So I did it. And when I first moved to Southern California, I always wanted to live in Los Angeles because my heart, ever since I was 15 years old, and an ex-friend of mine took me to Los Angeles. I knew since I was 15, oh, I'm gonna move there when I get older. Like, no, I have to be there. Like, I have to move there. I don't know what it is about the place, but, like, I gotta go. Like, that's my place. And when I came here, I lived in OC for 3 years. And now, as of 3 weeks ago, finally, it feels like it's about time. But I finally live in Los Angeles, California, the place I always wanted to live in, and I love it. And I feel like, oh my gosh, Jesus, you're so strongly in my life. It's so evident, and I could see you, and I love you. Like, I finally got my apartment 3 weeks ago in Los Angeles, and I love it. And I love I don't even know where to begin, but I'm just more than grateful. And I told him, though, I made a deal with him. Get me out of my car, I'll work for you. Yeah, I'll post on YouTube, because let me tell you something, I'm a pretty shy, reserved person. I mean, I'm like introverted, where if you get to know me, I'll be really talkative and all that, but doing this takes courage. I don't want to be on here. I'll just be so honest with you. Like, my flesh doesn't. My flesh is scared and like, oh, what if they're gonna judge me? Oh, they're gonna say something. Oh, I look like this. Yada yada. I'm not really like the most biblical person to be on YouTube to talk about the Lord anyway. Trust me, a million things. But getting past that, yeah, no, it's great. But I made a deal with him. I was like, let me go do this. Let me go work for you. Let me go spread the gospel. And that's what we're here doing today. So this was my first video since getting my apartment, and I couldn't be more happy. I feel like I'm in a great, peaceful place in my life. Not just because of the stuff I gained right now, but just like my relationship with the Lord. Nothing is permanent. Like, I could lose my job tomorrow. I could lose my finances, right? But when you have that one thing grounding you, which is your relationship with someone that will never leave you, which is only our Father, oh my gosh, is there peace? Because there could be chaos all around you, but knowing that deep in your heart, like, it gives you such a level of peace. And that's why people think, like, oh, Christians, like, you guys are, you know, in a stupid way where it's like, oh, everything must be easy, this and that. Like, no. No, we have it just as difficult as you do. It's just a matter of like where I'm pouring my energy into, but also surrendering and realizing that the Lord is with me and loves me and has always taken care of me, because I lived in my car for 9 months. Technically homeless, right? I don't like to say that because that's not really true. Like I had shelter, you know, but I was living in my car and not a single thing happened. Ain't nobody knocked on no window. Ain't nobody bothered me. Not a single thing ever happened to me. And that's not luck. That is the Lord. That is protection. That I would pray over myself. Even if I didn't pray over myself some days, the Lord still chose to protect me because he loves me and he is not going to forsake me. And I'm so happy that I know that, and I know he is the one in my heart and my Father forever. I would not have it any other way. So I hope my little journey has encouraged you. It was tough for me, but hey, if it encourages you, right? I love him, and I can't wait to continue making more content for him. Yeah, he loves you. Since I got my apartment, I do want to do more podcast style things, so not just up in my car, but I felt like today was pretty appropriate because this is where it all started. So I don't know, we'll see where it goes in Jesus' name. But thank you guys for all the sweet comments and all the encouraging little stories that I hear, and I love it, and keep it going, like, because it helps me a lot when I see stuff that you guys go through, or you know, just the little reasons and stories that remind you of the Lord and how you have him in your life. So sorry. But I can't wait to start this journey with you guys again and just start, you know, posting, because as much as it helps you, it helps me too. Like, just to sit here and talk with the Lord and do his work and spread the gospel and let y'all know, like, we have our Father who died on the cross for our sins because he loves us. It does a lot for me too. So thank you for hearing me out and hearing my story, and I can't wait to see you guys again. Bye.